now that the testimony is up publicly, I'm going to take it step by step. This video is going to be about Frank Milos' testimony on the Turtleboy sports situation. So the reason I'm in court is because Frank Milos was not answering as to how he was sitting in his office reviewing my son's medical records and his rescue report. So I was looking for the court orders in order for them to leave law enforcement and come over to his office. And although Frank Milos likes to say he is law enforcement, he's not law enforcement. So, we're going to do the Turtleboy sports. During Frank Milos' testimony, my attorney asks him about Turtleboy sports. And when the Turtleboy sports situation comes up, the Attorney General's office, they are ready to strike it down. Like, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that, right? So, because I mentioned it in the phone conversation, well, the taped message that I had left, it was able to be brought up. And Frank Milos says, and he's pretty good about the dates, huh? He knows it was 2020, that all this was really being discussed. What he doesn't mention, that he knows very well, is my mother died in March 2020. My mother died in fear of her life being taken by the Pawtucket Police Department. My mother had never seen anything like this in all of her years living in the city of Pawtucket. She, in her journal, she calls Frank Milos evil. But so my mother died in fear because of the Pawtucket Police Department, because things were getting pretty crazy with the Pawtucket Police Department, sending people to my home. So the Attorney General's office was very much well aware that the Pawtucket Police Department had sent Turtleboy sports for me. Very well aware. There are emails, there are phone calls, all going to be seen for what they are. And we have released most as evidence. There's an email to the Attorney General's office letting them know I was in fear for my life. Their suggestion to go to the state police. And nothing came of it. Nothing came of it. So Frank Milos is talking about, this was in 2020. So in 2023, I believe it is, Frank Milos released as a supplemental, because he didn't supposedly have this previously. For 3 years, he withheld this. It was an email from James Bano to Turtleboy Sports to have them come for 2 citizens in the city of Pawtucket, one being myself. So everything that I had been saying, and, he can say, oh, this was old news. It's reality. It happened. It happened. And when I say I was in fear for my life, I was in fear of how this was going to play out. Because I don't normally fear people, but when the people with the guns are sending people to your home, it has a different level of, hey, we're approving this. We give it the little stamp of approval. We want you, shady fox, to go and cause problems at this particular house. And I mean, let's be real. James Bano and Brian Beach were both on a live stream with Kate Peter and Masshole Mitch, sending them to my home, sending their followers to my home, riling them up. Frank Milos, the city solicitor in the city of Pawtucket, knew all along. He knew every part of this. He knew it. He knew it. So when he's sitting on the stand and he's like, oh, this is like old news. It was an uncontrolled environment of retaliation, bullying, and harassment. Uncontrolled. These people were out of control. They wanted to show a loyalty to Kate Peter, Turtleboy Sports, Masshole Mitch. This is what these people, this is where they get their energy from, doing things like this. And Frank Milos, knowing all along that this was what was going on. I mean, and me watching this all playing out, and Frank Milos not doing anything about it. And then when I had asked Frank Milos, what was it that you gave to Kate Peter? He said nothing. Well, that wasn't the truth either. Because when she sent her APRA through Manny Maceo, when she sent that APRA, she got a cost letter for $75. They were going to sell my son's information for $75 and my information. And Frank Milos was okay with that. See, this is where Shady Fuck comes out, right? I mean, and I think that should be the title of the story. Shady Fuck. Shady as fuck. Whatever. So Frank Milos is on the stand and he's like, oh yeah, we had already talked about that. We had talked about it. I had proven it. Nobody did anything about it. James Bano left with a pension. He left with a pension. Brian Beach, as far as I know, still works down there. And everybody else that was involved. So, and it was 3 years later that Frank Milos came with the proof that James Bano did exactly what Lynn Farinelli was saying that he did. So instead of looking at it and saying, oh, that Lynn Farinelli, she's a pain in the ass. She thinks that, no, it's not that I think. I come with receipts. I knew that James Bano had done it. But then Frank Milos provided me with yet another receipt. So, and I always think of Rye Packin', and they're a nothing burger. They're going to approve them, even if they, kill 20 citizens a day, because they just don't give a fuck. It's all a pay-to-play thing, right? Pay to play. So anyway, so I'm going to be breaking down the testimony and breaking down everything. But the Turtleboy sports thing, it seems to be one of the most telling of what Lynn Farinelli has been through in the last 11 years, along with, more things. Frank Milos, she had been talking about Turtleboy sports for, years. What else has Lynn Farinelli talked about? Frank fucking Milos? How about getting her son's report with accurate information? 11 years. 11 fucking years. So, we're going to have to, because, why was it that I was looking for why the Pawtucket police had my son's medical information? Like, where did that all come from? And that hasn't come out yet, of why so much time had passed. And then they were looking for my son's medical information. And it all goes back to the state medical examiner's office correcting Joseph's file of Perez's lies, right? Yeah. So, Frank Milos has been at the forefront of the 11 years of abuse that's going to be spelled out month by month, maybe week by week, maybe day by day. But we're gonna find out, well, why was it that I was asking? I was asking for this information, and it all relates back to the lies that are contained in my son's police report that have never been corrected. And Frank Milos has used that as like just a little dangling point. He don't want me contacting him. Why doesn't he fucking fix the problem? No, he enjoyed it too much. He enjoyed it too much because he's a little pansy ass.